there's a very strange things happening across the West and the UK. People simply don't want things anymore. Right? There are three different groups in our society, to make it simple. Young people, they simply don't want new things. Middle-aged people, like myself, they can't afford new things. Middle-aged people can barely afford to keep their heads above the water, to support themselves or if they have their families. And the elderly, they're either giving it all back to the other two groups so they can support them, or they're using it, whatever they manage to build throughout their lives, to pay for their final days, for the care home, support, and nurse, just to stay alive. So I don't think we need. You don't have to be an economist to see it. We don't need data to understand, to see this happening, because it's happening all over us, everywhere. You see the younger generations, they are not interested in not only buying new things, but they're not interested in planning their life long term in order so they can actually move their lives ahead and then get somewhere. When I was younger, we used to plan, we used to dream a car, home, holiday. It was something, there were things we wanted, and it was as normal as anything else. Young generations they seem to be just stuck into today without thinking about tomorrow. They can't afford houses, so they stopped dreaming about having a house one day. They stopped dreaming about promotions, because even if you get promoted, which is very unlikely, it ain't going to be enough to support your dreams anyway, so what's the point? You might just as well give up. Young people don't want to have cars, they don't want to drive. Many of them, they can't even drive. When I was young, if you wouldn't drive, if you were 18, that was the first thing you want to do, is to pass the driving license test and then get some old car so you can start driving as soon as. People don't put money anywhere. Young people are too broke to even think about saving, not to mention investing. Middle-aged people, they're way out of this mindset of investing. The only way people really want to invest is the desperation of the gambling, it's the desperation of doubling or tripling up your income or your salary or your small pot. People have £100 or $100 and they're thinking about investments. Whether back in the day, it would be like the most ridiculous. You can't invest with, you have to work out your cash flows first, right? You need to start making money, save a big pot, and then start paying for your pension, and then whatever is left, you invest in stock or whatever. And that was a normal thing. Everybody would do it. Now young people don't even understand it anymore. Middle-aged people just gave up completely. They are broke. They have no money to do it. All they care about is like how they're going to get by to the end of the month. And then what do we do when the winter comes? That's the reality. Then you look at the lifestyle. Young people, they have no hobbies. Like, where was the last time you saw anyone with some hobby, but like a general interest in something, apart from scrolling social media or watching YouTube? There is no hobbies. I don't know, and it's not even young people from. It's like middle-aged people. Again, they don't have hobbies because A, they have no money, B, they have no time, C, they're too stressed to even try to relax and have a hobby, which is an essential part of living, right? Right now it feels like everything is built around us just to make you survive. So you're going to have to work and do whatever you can just to get enough to survive. Forget about living your life. Forget about this. It's not existing anymore. Even health, well-being, like I just said, it's just been moved. It's out of the picture. We kind of we get along, we actually accepted that people are getting ill constantly without any hope of health. Like, we all accepted it, that it's going to take you forever to go and see a specialist if you have to. or not even seeing us, but you're just going to go to pharmacy and maybe they're going to help you, or maybe you're going to phone somebody. Even if you want to go and see a private doctor, you're going to have to pay a lot of money which you don't have. And even if you do, you're going to have to wait still quite a long time to see anyone, or if you want it now, you're going to have to do it over the internet or a Zoom call or something, which is like, it's not ideal. See, these things, they are new. It's a strange new things happening in the West. We've never had this before. We've never seen it. But there's one particular country in the whole world, in Asia. They've seen this happen back in the day, a few decades ago, and they've been through it. They didn't manage to get out of it, but they've been living through this. And the country is Japan. So the term around this is called stagflation, right? So it's like raising inflation with unemployment and raising cost of everything, puts everyone into this kind of defend mode, where everybody's just trying to get by until tomorrow. You see, in the West right now, it feels like, it almost seems like we lost all the ambition and we sort of given up on hope. Right? And I'm not talking about the politicians' hope. Let's hope it's going to. No, I'm talking about the life, everyday life, just going through your life with hope and ambition. Because we always had problems, right? Before, it's not like suddenly we have problems in our lives. No, but we always were able to deal with problems and with life because there was more we are looking to. It's like progress at work, your career. Making more money, buying things. Everything was around it. Everything was built and created around, pretty much, if you think about it, is buying or getting new things. And right now we're in a place where it's called low desire society. People don't want things anymore. And it's not their choice. It's not just we didn't want, but it's just we've been conditioned to believe in that. And then if you put on top of it all these conspiracy theories, right, you will own nothing and be happy. If you think about this, we are already here. It's not some distant future. It's now. As I explained to you, nobody wants things anymore because we don't have time to think about this. We have no energy to think about this. It's too difficult to just live our lives. So if you look at Japan, I think it's been going since like 1980s or something, and it hasn't been. They didn't manage. They didn't fix it up still, right? So what we can learn, like the scenario for the West is either we're really screwed and we're gonna stay like this for another few decades, or there'll be something changing it for us, which I talked about in my previous videos, maybe like conflict or financial meltdown. But there's a big difference, one particular difference between what's happening right now here and Japan, and there are two differences. Well, first of all, Japan has been a historically very closed community, so politics, no immigration, no politics the way we have here in Europe. So it was probably easier for them to get by. But the second biggest thing right now for all of us is the tech, and it's rapid development of tech. So if you combine rise of social media like we never saw before, especially like, the short form videos, TikToks and all of that, which people are feeding themselves. And then you add on to this the uncertainty, the high price of everything, and basically the low desire society. You've got a perfect environment to make people not have things and still get on. I think if this happens back in the past, people would give up on life completely. But right now, because of the tech, we are able to kind of sustain the ongoing grey lives. Okay, so it's like we're not seeing people revolting about everything's too expensive, we can't get things. People just get used to, oh, okay, if I can't get things, that's fine. I'll just get distracted with another TikTok, or I'll just distract myself. Everybody does it. I'll do it as well. Not on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. I really don't like. I don't understand. I'm probably too old. But everybody does that, right? To the degree like years ago, this would be acted upon. There will be some people coming up saying, hey, we can't go on like this. We need to get things going because we need to build things, buy things, get a car, home, family. We can't stay like this. But right now we just accepted it. We say, yeah, that's fine. That's the way it is, and we're going to stay this. And it doesn't have to be. It's not that way everywhere. It hasn't been this way. And there are other countries across the planet which is not like this, right? Of course, the tech is everywhere, and it's taking our lives like big time, like affecting our lives, which changes. But the lack of ambition and hope is something else. It's something we've never seen it before in Europe or in the West, but it's something which is taking more than just tech is taking from us. It's important to understand how we got here if we want to see where we're going to, and maybe find a solution of how to make it better. So I think it all started after Second World War, where the West went through this peak of growth, and we were conditioned. We were told that the growth is everything. We need to keep growing. The more that we grow, the happier we are. The more things we can buy, the more things we can have. And it got to the point where we pretty much got everything, and everything was kind of built around the debt and empty and false promises. And when this thing started sort of crumbling, with like a financial crisis in 2008 or even the before, then we had some new conflicts happening across the world because other countries were left out of the system. And then I think the last needle was, the nail into the coffin was the 2020, and after what happened after the COVID era. The system basically collapsed under its own weight. So the extreme consumerism, which we are associated with happiness and how life should be, has basically disappeared within a decade, right? We still have a generation of us, be it like maybe even my generation, being born into this peak economy, peak everything, consumerism, and everything is going to get better. Like, you can only grow, you can only progress in your life, right? It's like every year you're going to get a better job. You work harder, you're going to get a better job, better salary, better position. And you're going to earn more than your parents because they earn more than their parents. And then now, therefore, your kids will earn more than you. And this was the normal default position if in the West. And it's changed because we got ourselves into this position now where we are like, no, we can't sustain it, right? It's not sustainable. And I'm not talking about the typical way of sustainability right now as it is. I think it's not exactly doing us any good. But the sustainability is like we can't just keep buying ourselves into the happiness, because that is not actually the truth. The reality is, the further we went from the actual meaning of our lives, the more we got ourselves into this consumerism and the perpetual growth, the more we lost the connection with ourselves, and the more unhappy we were. But what we were doing, we're just masking it with our new things. So now we have young people deciding not to have things because they realized, A, they can't afford it, B, owning it only causes more misery long term. Like, these are liabilities, these are not assets, right? If you buy yourself a new car, it makes you feel nice, it makes you feel temporarily like, hey, I've done it, or whatever, like I've made I've got my dream car, I achieved something. But over the time, you will have to work around it, take it to the garage, fix it, buy things, tires, insurance, all of it. It's a liability. It's like, it doesn't give you more peace, right? It doesn't make you more happy. It just gives you more things to do, to spend on time and money and energy in order to sustain that feeling of, okay, I have it. And then that feeling is disappearing slowly. And then we're being told that it's okay, this is part of it, you just have to have a better car or bigger house, better place, and it's never ending. And the young people are now seeing it, and they just realize, like, if I can't afford this stuff and it's actually not making me any happier either, then I don't want to be. Now they see the problem is, and I get it, right? It's like, it's a smart thing to do if you think about this. But the problem is, as we tend to do, we go from one extreme to another, right? There's no in the middle process. Like, we went from extreme consumerism, like everybody had more than we can ever be happy with, and we all do. And we went straight down from this within a decade or so, like not in one generation, less than that, to a place where people don't want anything. Everything is becoming ugly. People don't want to appreciate things, right? People don't want anything. They just want to be left alone. locked in their houses with the parents, with no responsibilities, so they can get detached from the old system. And that is a dangerous place where we are right now. When I mentioned Japan, they've been going through this for the last few decades. So it was more transitioning period, I suppose, for them, right? It was just happening on, and they were just kind of managing, wanting less things, but managing to keep the economy big. It's still a big economy. They're still, inventing things because this is a cultural thing. I've been to Japan a few times, and you will see that Japanese culture is, they respect everything. They respect work, progress, for the sake of respect. Whether in the West, we were respecting it for the sake of achievement, money, and buying things afterwards. So if you removed money incentives from Japan, you would then still have the culture of let's do our best because that's what we're here for, right? Whatever that is. Even if you clean, train cards, it's people still proud of it. Clean as like the lowest jobs. Yes, people still do it with a pride. So they would manage to kind of carry on as a society, where we are now in a place where we removed the incentives as a money and material things, and people just shut themselves down, especially the younger generations. So they just basically they gave up on their hopes and dreams. And the problem is, if you give up on your hopes and dreams and you don't have a functional system in place, as for example Japan, and the cultural incentives behind it, you just have to do it for the sake of doing it, then things are falling apart and there's nothing to replace them with. So you see, the future, the presence right now, it's not because of the immigration politics or cost of living crisis, of you name it, like all the main problems we are talking about. I think it's more about the crisis of our identity as the West, okay? Of course, all these issues I just mentioned are on top of it and all around it, and they're making things worse. But if you can't get our young generations be optimistic about something, be keen to do something, grow themselves, be part of something bigger than just themselves, then that is a huge problem. Because what happens next? Like when the last generation of people who want to do, like, you see, I'm an entrepreneur. So my life is about either working with clients who build things, or I build my own things. But either way, I'm pretty much 7 days a week switched onto things where I'm just thinking like how to do things better, improve something financially, or systems, or operations, or how to do things better. And then if I do a good job, I normally get paid, either because of my client is paying me back, I have some deal in place, or I just build my own business, which takes time until you get money coming in, right? But I'm in this mode of building constantly, like looking for a problem, solving it, moving on. And this gives me a hope in today's hopeless reality. It gives me a purpose. It allows me to get through all the problems I'm having in my life. Because I have a reason to wake up every day, right? I have many reasons. As well as I have many reasons not to. I have many reasons to still wake up. But if you're a person who's got no reasons to do anything, then that is a big problem. If you add on top of it the non-existing relationships between people, especially younger generations, people don't date anymore as much as I can see. People don't go out as much as I can see. People don't talk to each other. People don't connect. They don't get married. They don't have no families. Then you move on to people are over-medicated. Like this, I didn't know, but I think 1 in 10 people in the UK are on some sort of what's it called, SSRIs or something, like a medical drug, like mental drugs or something, right? It's like depression and anxiety is through the roof, and people it's all interconnected. You see how I mean it, right? It's like you got these people detached with reality, not wanting to have things, which is good, but it went down to complete extreme point where people don't want to have anything to do with anything or anyone. Then therefore they're getting depressed. Then they're going to get medication, which keeps them suppressing the depression, but keeps them unhappy, and it's just never-ending vicious circle, right? And then if you think about this, like internet is obviously amplified this to a degree where if somebody has something, or if somebody likes to have something, right? It's like somebody, got this fake financial gurus, 20 years old flashing the cars and stuff like this on social media. That is obviously amplifying the anxiety of people who don't want that, or they didn't want that, or they couldn't do it for whatever reason because they were not built that. And if you on top of it add that most of it is lie anyway, this 20 years old on the internet flashing their fast cars and all that, like 99% of them is full of shit, they're not real. It shows you it shows you where the West is right now. And it's not pretty. It is not something we can solve by removing immigration or bringing somebody else in, or even removing crime, which is, I think, number one priority should be for any country right now if you want to move ahead. But none of it would matter because we lost the identity collectively as a community, as a society. We used to be, connected. There was a bond between us because of the materialism, right? We would go on holiday, or even, the Johns, American dreams, you would want more because your neighbors has less, or they have bigger cars, so you need to work more to have better cars. It was it was stupid, foolish, but it was a reason for why things were happening. It led us down to where we are now, but it was something. Right now we have nothing left. We have crumbling system. Each system we ever built is absolutely falling apart, and we have a future generations which are not incentivized to do anything. They have no hopes and no dreams. Ask anyone younger, if you have friends or kids or anything, what's their dream? Very few have any dream. Like there's this guy Simon Squibb, and he's a very famous entrepreneur. Don't know if you know him. And he's walking around the cities with a microphone and asking people about their dream because he wants them to achieve that dream. So he's a super wealthy guy, super successful guy. He walks to some younger people and say, "Hey, what's your dream?" Hoping, or the idea is like somebody say, "Oh, I need $2,000 to achieve, to become open my first business, which is, some shop or something," right? And then Simon will say, "Okay, here you go. Look, I'll give you $2,000 if you do it, and this is how you're going to do it." And then he's going to show somebody that can be done. But what's the most interesting part for me was like majority of these people he's approaching, they have no dreams. Okay, these are young people in their 20s. And they have no dream. Like if I was meeting in my 20s and they would say, "What's your dream?" I would say probably to get some new car. Like I always liked cars. And so that was my dream straight away. Like even if not a business, I would be like, "Oh, I want to have a car, or I want to have a holiday." These guys now are walking around London, the big cities. They have no dreams. They're just being stopped by Simon Squibb, and they just say, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm just on my phone," and they're going to move on. This is the reality we are now. You can't fix it by politics, I think. So like part of it, like the immigration it started happening right a few decades ago because we were meant to keep the system going, the perpetual growth, the constant growth, in order for all of us to be happy. So therefore, countries in the West, they brought immigrants, cheap labor, because we needed more people to do more jobs. Natives didn't want it because they got comfortable, they had lots of money, like the system, right? That's where the Poles were invited to England mainly, plumbers and scaffolders and all of that, right? Waitresses and cleaners. But we got to the point now where people don't want the thing, so you don't need any more labor because you don't want to produce any more things because nobody's going to buy it. And then you have a technology which is going to replace the ones who are doing many things anyway. And the tech is giving you now as much dopamine as actually owning physical things, right? So for me, for example, when I was young, getting a car was like the dopamine, and I would just keep driving the car and having and cleaning it and just, taking pictures, whatever. Whether right now, for the kids, is basically you can watch any car you want on the internet, and you can probably even like drive, playing a games which look like reality. You can do all these things without actually owning it and having a downside of paying for it and caring for it and all of it. And as much as it's great to be removed from this extreme consumerism, we got ourselves so far that we cut the cord between who we are as a people in a society. We became complete strangers. There you go. I'm going to agree with something which Keir Starmer said. An island of strangers, and it's a West overall. It's like we don't know each other, we don't know anything, we don't want anything, nobody likes anyone, everyone hates each other. It's like, and it's not political. There is no political party can fix it. You can have party coming in, I don't know, left or right. They're gonna either bring everybody in or get rid of everyone. You will not get that sense of identity because we cut the cord from the core of who we were. So who we are now, I don't know. Who are we? It's hard to say. There's no values as well. Like maybe we used to have values in the country which would keep everything kind of glued together. You know, it's like the family's falling apart when your grandparents pass away, and then just the whole family's falling apart. Like I've seen it many times. You see, the last one is like if you look about the economy, right? It's like the economy we have. The system we've built, it was always focused around constant growth. So the economy would grow, the debt would grow, but to pay the debt, to grow the economy was paid for by more people coming in, more people buying, and the further growth, right? So now we stop growing, stop wanting things, and we can't sustain the economy. The economies are basically falling apart because of that, which will also accelerate the sentiment around I don't want anything, because what's the point? Because if I what's the point of work? Like you have these videos now around everywhere on the internet of people actually living in their cars. Back in the day, it would be like just homeless. It's not cool. You were not cool 20 years ago. You were just a homeless person living in a car. You would need help. Now you have young people, really young people, old as well, living in their cars because they lost all their hope, and they record videos basically, and people watching millions of views, and they just find it amazing. I'm not talking about a camper vans. So that's another one. People living in camper vans, but I'm talking even people living in the normal cars, like like 5-seat car, and that's their life. And they kind of go back. It's fine for them. I don't judge anyone. I think it's okay if you like it, whatever, right? But it's like it shows you how much we detach ourselves from everything. So now we glorify living in a car. We are now okay with people having nothing, and we are allowing this to go on and on and on unchecked by our politicians, and bringing up new demands from us. Okay, now we need to save this environment, this and that. There's nothing more to save. We can't give anything to anyone anymore. We gave ourselves, we lost ourselves, and we basically became a low desire society, and this affects everything in our lives: friendship, relationships, ownership, all of it. We're becoming a zombies in our new reality. I don't know if this can be fixed somehow. Like I think the only fix for it would be the fix will present itself somehow. That's how it goes. But I think it's what I keep saying. It's gonna be this one of these things we don't want, because the whole thing. The thing is, the whole world is not like this. It's West. Okay, it's West like this. Lots of Asian countries, many Asian countries, especially China or Russia, they're not like this. They're still very much driven. So they want to take advantage of it. So then they're gonna probably will lead to some sort of financial meltdown, something somewhere where we're going to have to either have a wake-up call, very different, rude wake-up call, hey, that's it, open your eyes, we're going to have to do something. Maybe you don't want to be materialistic, that's great, but we need to carry on, we need to have a dream, we need to have a purpose. Otherwise, there will be no need for us. And no government is going to change it, no policy about immigration or cost of living or inflation is going to change it. It's unchangeable, it has to be us. But I don't know how we can wake all of us, how we can wake up the youth, the younger generations. This is the hard one. What do you think? Would you have an idea how to fix it? That's a difficult one for me. Let me know. It's interesting. Let me know if you know how to go around this. Japan is still there. They were not able to fix that, get out of it. But we're going to be there soon. We are there soon. We are in stagflation. And it's going to get worse and longer. Yeah, if you like this video, leave me a like. Let me know in the comments what do you think. If you know any solution, please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribing yet. And I mean, stay optimistic. It's all, you know, part of the of being alive. It's part of life, of living. But it's good to know about problems. It's good to talk about them, because then a solution will present itself sooner or later, one way or another. All right, have a great day. Cheers.